Hey everyone, Jennifer here from Theos Coaching and Education, and I'm really excited today to talk about the endocannabinoid system because this was the thing that really cinched it for me for cannabis and knowing that it was actual medicine, because cannabis was my medicine for a long time. Before I understood or even heard about the endocannabinoid system, but for a while during that time, I still was second guessing the medicinal effects. I knew I felt better, but I didn't know a whole lot about it. And because of its former legal or prohibited status, I was still thinking, well, maybe I'm just kind of, part of me is still hanging on to my teen years of just wanting to escape and get high or something. And it wasn't until a physician friend of mine sat me down and explained the endocannabinoid system in our bodies that I realized, like a light bulb, like a thunderbolt, that this was not only real medicine, but maybe one of the most valuable medicines we could have in our bodies. And this is also why it's so important that communities that are still prohibited from having this medicine need to have legal access. So the endocannabinoid is like this master control system in our body. It's something we've known about in research science for about 30 years now, and it is legitimately existing in our body, just like our digestive system, our endocrine system, our nervous system. We have this master balancing and control system called the endocannabinoid system. And it might be so important, actually, that it controls and balances and harmonizes almost every other system in the body. Listen to this, for example. It regulates and balances and harmonizes the gastrointestinal system, our cardiovascular activity, pain perception, maintenance of bone mass. It's a neuroprotector for the brain and neurons. It's a hormone regulator and regulates the endocrine system. It helps regulate our metabolism. It helps us with our immune function. It helps with our inflammatory reactions. It inhibits tumor cells and is even implicated in the support of reproduction. It's incredible. It's like, what does it not impact? And we also know about the endocannabinoid system that it turns on and off as needed. So like if you have an injury somewhere, or if you have illness developing, if your endocannabinoid system is functioning well for you, then when that dysregulation or dysfunction or injury occurs, the endocannabinoid system is activated right in the spot where is needed in the case of an injury, if that's what's being called upon. It activates, produces endogenous cannabinoids or cannabinoid-like molecules, endocannabinoids, and goes right to work on rebalancing and bringing the whole body system back into harmonic function, a harmonized state of being. So it's an incredible system in our body, and it has three parts. It has endocannabinoids, of course. So these are the cannabinoid-like molecules, and the ones we know of, there are many, but the ones we know of the best are, or the most of, or existing the most of in the body are 2-AG. That stands for 2-arachidonyl glycerol, for all of those of you who like to know the complete name of a molecule like that. And anandamide, actually named for Ananda, which is the Sanskrit for bliss, because anandamide is like our own internal equivalent of THC. And amazingly, on that note, they know now it's anandamide, our endocannabinoid, plus endorphins that are responsible for what we know of as the runner's high. So we used to think it was just all endorphins. Nope, incorrect. It's actually, at least in part, or maybe a lot, our endocannabinoid system and our own internal THC, right? Kind of, you know, that if you know cannabis, that's the substance that gets you high. And it's no mistake that we refer to that as a runner's high. And that's our own endocannabinoid system working. Amazing, right? So we have endocannabinoids, then those are the molecules going to work, being produced and released in our body and helping us feel more balanced and harmonized. And we have the receptors, right? The endocannabinoid receptors, because those endocannabinoids need to kind of lock in somewhere. It's those of you, you know, if you remember your basic science from high school, this is a lock and key formation happening in these molecules for us in our body. And the receptors, because the endocannabinoid system is throughout our entire body. It's this incredible master regulator. So the receptors in our endocannabinoid system are throughout our entire body, with the exception of our brainstem that regulates our breathing and heart rate, which is why, even though people have tried, you cannot overdose and die on cannabis. We have opioid receptors in our brainstem where we have, you know, the place that's responsible for regulating heartbeat and breathing, but not the receptors for our endocannabinoid system. How smart, It's good medicine. And then we have the enzymes. And these are the things that make and break the endocannabinoids. So the enzymes go to work, they produce the endocannabinoids find the right receptors where they need to go, they lock in, they change the molecule and program it to go about the work it needs to do, and then the enzyme breaks it back down again. So we are brought back into harmony, hopefully, ideally, if our system is working well and our system harmonizes and we come back into health. Incredible, huh? And I want to read you something else to kind of simplify this and break it down a little more. Dr. Ethan Russo, who works in this field, says the cannabis and the endocannabinoid system helps us in 5 main areas. All right, I'm going to listen first and I'm going to explain briefly. Eating, sleeping, relaxation, protection, and forgetting. That sounds like a funny one, but I'll explain why. So eating, it's like it helps us regulate our appetite. Like some of us know that cannabis can give us the munchies. Some cannabinoids actually are helping to balance that out or maybe suppress our appetite a little bit, right? We have some options we're learning about these days. And the endocannabinoid system is really not trying to give us the munchies and make us overweight. It's trying to bring our metabolism into harmony. So appetite, metabolism, metabolic function, eating, sleep, right? There's a lot of people, I'm one of them, who have experienced tremendous benefits of sleep with cannabis. Insomnia is an old, historic, terrible habit of mine, and I've experienced so much relief on cannabis. Sleep is the number 2 benefit of the benefit of cannabis and the endocannabinoid system. It is working to regulate our sleep-wake cycles, and our stages of sleep. So it's not just can you sleep, but like how's the overall quality of your sleep, right? Makes sense. This is what the system is working on if it's functioning well. Relaxation, it's calming the central nervous system. It's helping us manage stress so it doesn't become toxic for us. It can actually do that. Like we just know stress is toxic for us. We know it's bad for us. But if our endocannabinoid system is functioning well for us, it's actually supporting us in processing the stress that is just inevitable in today's world. Okay, so we want this system to be working at its optimal level for us, right? So we can face this world. Protection. So this is like immune system maintenance. It helps prevent cancer. The research is solid behind this, and it's incredible. Neuroprotectant and tumor killing cells. So it might even keep tumor cells from even starting in the first place. It's an incredible protection in our body, cannabis and the endocannabinoid system working for us, and our own endocannabinoids. And forgetting. Sounds a little odd, but you know what? When we have big traumatic events, one of the best things about our brain and one of the best protectors of it a normal function is that it can forget. It can move on. It can release something, and as time passes, we forget. Right? That's what we say, and yet so many of us are kind of stuck in fight or flight mode these days. We have a part of our mind that is ruminating and constantly remembering and replaying traumatic events, and our endocannabinoid system, believe it or not, when it's in a healthy state, is actually working to help us move on from traumatic events, help us move out of fight or flight or freeze mode and back into stability and harmony and balance. So incredible system. And I'm going to end with one more quote from another physician, Dr. David B. Allen, who works in this field as well. Said, "The discovery of the endocannabinoid system is the single most important scientific medical discovery since the recognition of sterile surgical technique." This is the idea that we should wash and sterilize our tools before we cut into human skin. Kind of an important discovery. So he says this is the most important discovery since that one. And as our knowledge expands, we are coming to realize that the endocannabinoid system is a master control system of virtually all physiology. That's his quote. Amazing. I mean, in a way, it feels silly of me almost that I'm the one sharing this information. Like, I feel like this information about the endocannabinoid system should be like in every medical textbook. It should be, what you find out about, along with anything else you receive in terms of healthcare at your doctor's office and the hospital. And, we should be learning about it when we learn, basic health growing up in school, health classes. It's pretty foundational. And I really hope, and I have a lot of hope myself that we are in this psychedelic renaissance that we are in, and as cannabis continues to legalize, that we will continue to learn, and science will catch up, and the media along with it, along with the laws easing and correcting, that we will learn about these systems in our body and continue to learn about ourselves, and actually be allowed to keep ourselves as healthy as possible. So thank you for listening and tuning in as usual, everyone. And I hope this was useful, and I hope you can appreciate your own body and your own healthy systems a little more, and give a little gratitude to your own endocannabinoid system. Thanks. Take care.